Today let us discuss about the chapter keys, couplings. Among keys and couplings, let us discuss about keys today. In this lesson, keys. The objectives of this lesson are, on completion of this period or the lesson, you will be able to know importance of keys, classification of keys, various types of keys, and the keys materials. So now keys. Keys, key, let us define, it is a machine element used to prevent relative motion between parts such as gears, pulleys and shafts. Once again, the definition is machine element used to, it is a machine element used to prevent relative motion between the parts such as gears, pulleys and shafts. And also we can define this as a device to transmit torque, a device to transmit torque from shaft to mating gear or the wheel, or from gear or pulley to shafts. Once again, a device to transmit torque from one shaft to the another shaft through a mating gear or wheel, or from gear or pulley to another shaft. This is the another definition. First definition is to prevent the relative motion between the parts such as the shaft and to the hub of the gear or pulleys, whatever it is. And here is the another definition is a device to transmit torque from shaft to hub of the pulley or the gear or whatever it is, through that to the another shaft. So that is a simple definition for keys. So once again, if you see, as per the definition, the main function is prevent the relative motion and also and to transmit torque to the another shaft. So this key is inserted in a recess. This key is inserted in a recess between the hub of the mounting, that means pulley or the gear, and the shaft. And this recess is called keyway. And this keyway may be sometimes in a hub of the mounting or also in the shaft. Sometimes only it is maybe in the hub only. So here that recess which is used to accommodate the key is called keyway, and mainly the materials in this are mild steel. To manufacture the keys is mild steel most commonly used, and the selection of this key depends on the main factors are the power requirements, the selection of the key, what type of key we have to select for special purpose. In such case, the main factors are number one, power requirements, number two, nature of fit, number three, stability, number four, cost. These are the factors on which we are going to depend. Depending on these four factors, we are going to select the proper key, the proper function. So the function of the key is to prevent the relative motion, number one. Number two is to transmit the power. And to do such things, sometimes we may have to transmit heavy power, sometimes we may have to transmit light power, and sometimes we may have to transmit medium power. For depending on the power requirements, the type of key is selected. Depending on the type of fit also, key is selected, and stability also, and cost also. Depending on all these factors, we are going to select the proper key. So for selection of the key, the main factors are: number one, power requirement, type of fit, stability, and cost. Right? So let us see the types of keys. Types of keys. The keys are generally classified into two types. The keys are generally classified into two types. Number one is sunk keys. Sunk keys. And this sunk key requires keyway, that is recess, in both the shaft as well as the hub of the mounting. The sunk key requires keyway in both shaft as well as hub of the mounting. That means the keyway, half of the keyway is in hub and half of the keyway is in shaft, right? So these sunk keys are mainly intended for, used for heavy power transmission, because the keyway is there in the shaft as well as the hub. That's why you can transmit heavy powers from one shaft to the another shaft through the mountings. Next is saddle keys. Saddle keys, in the saddle key, the keyway is only in the hub of the mounting, which require a keyway in the hub only. Broadly, they are classified, generally they are classified into two categories. Number one, sunk keys requires keyway in both the keys and shafts and hub, whereas the saddle keys requires the keyway only in the hub. So these are generally used for light power transmission to medium power transmission. The saddle keys are used for light power transmission to medium power transmission. And this is mainly, the saddle keys mainly depends on the friction between the shaft and the key. The power transmission will be taking place only because of the friction between the key and the shafts. So that's why these are useful for light power transmission, right? So next, the sunk keys, and how to, and what are the types of sunk keys. Let us discuss about this sunk keys. The various types of sunk keys are shown below. Number one, square and rectangular sunk keys, which is the strongest and most widely used. It is the strongest of all the keys, as well as it is most widely used in engineering applications. And this will have uniform cross section, and they may be slightly tapered on their thickness. That means as you go on increasing the length, the thickness will be goes on reducing, and that thickness will be reduced in 1 in 100 taper. 1 in 100 taper. So that means along the length thickness will be reduced. And here width of the key, W is equal to thickness of the key, which is nothing but D by 4 for square. That means for square key, whatever the width is there, the same will be the thickness. Whatever the width is there, the same will be the thickness for square key. But whereas for rectangular sunk key, width is diameter by 4 times. That means 1 by 4th of the diameter of the shaft. Whereas the thickness is 1 by 6th of the diameter of the shaft, where D is the diameter of the shaft. So width is d by 4 and thickness is d by 6 of for rectangular Sankey. So here you can see square key. This is thickness is equal to width of the key, which is 1 by 4th of the diameter of the shaft. And here it is the rectangular Sankey key, and which is, you can see thickness is d by 6 and width of the key is d by 4, whereas thickness is also can be represented in terms of width of the key, that is 2 by 3rd of width of the key. That means T is equal to 2 by 3rd of W or d by 6. And here you can see the square key. This is the square key which is having width and thickness same. And here, as it is the Sankey key, half of the key is in the shaft and half of the keyway is in the hub. This is the hub and this is the shaft. And this is inserted, the key is inserted in the recess called keyway. That means half the keyway in shaft and half the keyway is in hub. And this is the shaft. And here you can see rectangular Sankey key. It is width is equal to, is more than the thickness of the key. So thickness is equal to 2 by 3rd of width of the key or d by 6. And whereas this width is equal to d by 4. See here also you can see the Sankey, half of the key is in the shaft and half of the key way is in the hub. So that's why these keys are strongest keys and also applicable for heavy power transmissions, right? These are the square and rectangular Sankeys. And jib head key, it is just like a rectangular Sankey key, but only additionally this head is given and jib head is given too. And this head is mainly intended for easy removal of key from the keyway. This head is provided to facilitate the easy removal of the key, this key from the keyway. Only that is the purpose. So jib head key, it is a taper rectangular Sankey key fitted with the jib head to facilitate easy withdrawal. The taper is on the top of the key. The taper is on the top of the key. It is also used for heavy power transmission, same as the rectangular Sankey. And the proportions of this jib head key, let us see. A tapered Sankey fitted with the jib head to facilitate easy withdrawal. Here you can see taper is on the top of the key, and here the proportions of this jib head key, and this is the jib head, and it is similar to the rectangular Sankey, and taper is 1:100. So here you can see this is the width of the key, which is say d by 4, that is diameter by 4, and this is the length of the jib head, that is 1.5 times of t, whereas t is equal to thickness of the key, which is 2 by 3rd of width or d by 6, and this is length of the jib head is equal to 1.5 times of thickness of the key. And here this is the height of the jib head, which is 1.75. Here it is wrong, printing mistake, and here it is 1.75 times of thickness of the key. And the angle for jib head is 45 degrees. And these proportions we must remember. Sometimes we may have one question: draw a proportionate sketch of a jib head key for a shaft diameter of some x. So in such case, you have to draw this jib head key with the proportionate dimensions, right? So this is all about jib head key. The proportions are shown below. So now feeder key. Feeder key is nothing but the parallel key. Feeder key is nothing but parallel key, and this will be provided for relative axial moment of the mounting along the axis of the shaft. Along the axis of the shaft. That means the hub of the mounting can move along with the key along the axis, along the axis of the key. That means corresponding recess of the keyway should be there. That means the keyway is along the length of the key, sorry, length of the shaft. That's why along with the hub, this can move along through the axis. That means along the axis, parallel to the axis, over the shaft. So that is that means for sliding of the key with the hub itself, this is feather key is used. That means this is simply parallel key. And so used when relative axial motion is required. This feather key is when we need axial motion of the mounting is required between the components while transmitting torque. Used when relative axial motion is required between the components while transmitting the torque. And these are different types of feather keys are there. Here two holes are there, and that is fixed to the shaft, so that, and this is feather key with the set screws, and another is feather key with the double jib heads, double headed feather key, we can call it a double headed feather key, and sometimes we may have also single headed feather key. That means feather keys are number one, feather key with the set screw, feather key with the single head, feather key with the double head, and feather key, peg feather key is also there. That means there is a peg at the bottom of the feather key, and that will fit the corresponding hole present in the shaft itself. Right? So now these are the different types are there. Feather keys are number one, feather key with the set screw, feather key with the peg, feather key with the single head, feather key with the double head. Right? And this is used for when the relative motion, axial motion is required. Right? This is all about the feather key. And Woodruff key. Woodruff key is simply a semicircular key, and this can fit corresponding keyway. That means the keyway is also in the shape of the key. Semicircular in shape and fits a similar shaped key. Here you can see this is a semicircular key in the shape, and it is going to fit in the similar keyway of the shaft. And the hub will have the same normal, that is flat keyway, but whereas the shaft keyway is half round, that means semicircular shape. Right? Semicircular in shape and fits in similar shaped keyway, and particularly used on tapered shafts. These Woodruff keys are particularly used in tapered shafts, and this is called also self-aligned key. This Woodruff key can also be called as self-aligned. That means if you insert the key within the keyway, automatically that itself fits in the key. That's why it is the self-aligned key. And next is round key. Next is round key, just like it is just like a pin. It is just like a pin and circular pin. This is just like a circular pin, does not require the accurate keyway. Does not require the accurate keyway, and driven into the hole, drilled partly on the shaft, partly in the hub. Same as because it is the sunk key, round sunk key. This is the round sunk key, and this is fitted half in the shaft and half in the hub of the mounting. Right? So this is the round sunk key, driven into the hole, drilled partly on the shaft and partly on the hub. and used for here. This round key is used for light and medium loads, light and medium loads, right? This is all about, and this is also going to have taper along its length. And now the tangent key. Here is the tangent key. This is the tangent key, and it is provided tangentially over the shaft surface and used for heavy duty and are fitted at a pair at angles. That means they are fitted in pairs at certain angle. That means these tangent keys are used always in pair. That means one is fitted at one place and another is fitted at one place at certain angles. And this is for heavy duty work, heavy duty power transmission, and withstand torque in one direction only. And this tangent key can withstand torque in one direction. So this is all about the tangent key, right? So far in sunk keys, we have discussed about square sunk key, rectangular sunk key, jib-headed sunk key, and then feather key. And in feather keys, we are having uh, feather key with the set screw, peg feather key, single-headed feather key, double-headed feather key, right? And then Woodruff key and the rounded key, tangent key. These are all different types of sunk keys. In this, all these requires keyway in both as well as both shaft as well as hub. Except the round key, remaining all are used for heavy power transmission. And this Woodruff key is used on tapered shafts and also especially in automobile industry. The Woodruff key can be used on tapered shafts, number one. Number two is in automobile industry, and also it is self-aligned key. Right? This is all about the different types of sunk keys available. Right? So now let us go to the saddle keys. As we have discussed so far, the saddle keys will have the keyway only in the hub. Number one. Number two is the power is transmitted due to friction between the key and the shaft, right? Between the key and the shaft. If the friction is less, the power transmission will be less. If the friction is more, power transmission will be more. So that's why these keys are used for light loads to medium loads only. Right? So saddle key. So here also these are two types. These saddle keys are two types. Two forms of saddle keys are there. Number one is hollow saddle key. Number one is hollow saddle key, and this requires keyway in the hub. And the bottom side of the key is curved shape to suit the surface of the shaft. That means the key is just like a curved shape, but the bottom of the key is in the curved shape, which will fit directly on the shaft surface. So thereby the friction between the key and the shaft will help to transmit the power, right? So, and tapered and transmits torque by friction only, and it will transmits only due to the friction, and therefore it is suitable for light loads only, right? And this hollow saddle key is suitable for light loads only, because its name itself says that the bottom of the saddle key is in the shape of a curve which is going to fix over the shaft. So this is number one saddle key. Number two, this is the hollow saddle key. That means the surface is in the shape of a curve which is going to fit over the shaft. This is the key and this is the hub of the mounting. Right? This is all about hollow saddle key. And here a flat saddle key. Second saddle key is the flat saddle key and requires keyway in the hub, same as in the previous case, but it will have a corresponding flat surface at the bottom. That means here is the flat surface, whereas in previous case it is the curved surface and it is a flat surface. Corresponding flat surface should be there on the shaft itself. So right, so corresponding flat on the shaft and used for light loads, but it has a greater driving than hollow saddle key, and it has a greater driving than hollow saddle key, right? So this is all about flat saddle key, right? So in case of saddle keys, two types are there. Number one is the hollow saddle key and number two is the flat saddle key. Both requires keyway in the hub itself, and hollow saddle key will have its bottom surface as curved shape and flat saddle key will have a flat surface at its bottom. So this is the flat saddle key, right? Next is splines. Next is splines, right? So number of keys, here in this case of number of keys are integrated with the shaft. Number of keys are integrated with the shaft and it is a positive drive. It is a positive drive which permits axial movement of the hub. That means on the shaft there are number of keys are there which are integral with the shaft and the hub can move along the axis of the shaft. That means this permits, it is a positive drive. That means positive drive means no power loss during the transmission of power from one place to the other place. That's why that means there is no loss of power. That's why it is called positive drive. And this spline shaft will provide you the axial moment for hub. Axial moment for hub. So that is the advantage, and also, and this is applicable in automobile industry especially. And if you see clutch and gear mechanism of automobile industry, all the gears and clutch are on driven side, the gears are mounted on the spline shaft. Due to the use of spline shaft, the gears can be moved in connection with the clutch. That's why this type of spline shaft is most important in automobile industry for power transmission, especially in gate drives. So right, so and it is designated. The designation or the specification of spline shafts or the splines as per the Indian standards is designated by number one width, number two width, height, number three is the length. That means width into height into length, followed by IS number. Before that, it is defined which type of spline key it is. That means so and so type of spline key and width into height into length and followed by IS number and followed by year of the standards. So this is designation is mainly having three. It means width is there, height is there, and length is also there. As per the standards, BIS, you can see. So, for example, here you can see the designation of a spline shaft, as you can see, a straight-sided spline. A straight-sided spline. It is the name of the spline shaft, splines, and it is going to have of width 18 mm and thickness 11 mm and length 112 mm, and this can be designated as simply, you can see here the name of the spline is there and width is there 18 mm, thickness is there 11 mm, and length is there 112 mm, right? And this can be designated, you can see straight sided spline, it is the name indicated, and next is width as per the designation into 11, which is going to indicate the thickness of the spine, and into 112, that is the length of the spine, and this is the IS number 2610 is there dash the corresponding year. That means the recommendations of these IS number corresponding year should be there. That is maybe 1966, maybe 1906. So this is the designation. If you have a spline shaft like this designation, simply you have to think that it is a straight-sided spline having its width 18 mm, thickness 11 mm, and length 112 mm as per the Indian standards of 2610 of 1966. This you can explain, like this you can explain the spline shafts. The proportions of this spline shaft, the proportions of this spline shaft, let us see. D will be the diameter of the shaft, which is equal to 0.75. D will be the internal diameter of the shaft, and capital D will be the outside diameter of the shaft. And the width, W is the width of the spline, which is 0.25 times of outside diameter. That means these proportions all are indicated based on outside diameter of the spline. Outside the larger diameter or larger diameter of the spline, and the thickness of the spline is equal to 0.125 times of outside diameter of the shaft. So this is the D is the major diameter of the shaft or larger diameter of the shaft, you can say, and the small d will be the minor diameter or root diameter of the shaft, spline shaft, and W will be the width of the spline, and T will be the thickness of the spline. So this is all about the splines. So here you can see once again. So here is the spline, internal spline shaft, hub of the shaft, maybe of the hub of the mounting. So this will be the thickness, this will be the thickness, and this will be the width, and this is the minor diameter, and it is the, here it is major diameter. And this spline is proportions are taken based on the major diameter only, and D, small d will be the 0.75 times of the major diameter, width is equal to 0.25 times of the major diameter, thickness is 0.125 times of the major diameter. So this is all about the splines. With this we concluded our, so far we have discussed whatever the things that we have discussed. Let us have a summary of all these. Summary of this lesson, today's lesson. So far we have discussed keys. What is the key? And what is the key means? It is a device which is used to prevent the relative motion, or sometimes which is used to transmit from shaft to the mounting, like gears and flywheels, and its function is to prevent the relative motion between the shaft and its mountings. And what are the types of keys and their applications? And these types of keys are sunk keys and saddle keys. And sunk keys also divided once again. Different types of sunk keys are there. Number one is square key, rectangular key, and jib-headed key. And then Woodruff key, feather keys, and in case of feather keys, feather key with uh, set screw, feather key with peg, feather key with a single head, feather key with a double head. And also round keys, tangent keys are there. And in case of saddle keys, flat saddle key, hollow saddle key, right? And their applications also we have completed so far. And different types of splines are also there. And jib head key proportions also we have so far discussed, right? And the jib head key is a tapered rectangular sunk key fitted with the jib head to facilitate easy withdrawal, and the taper is on the top of the key, right? So next is spline shafts. Splines are a number of keys integrated with the shaft. And the hubs are made with the corresponding number of keyways. The shafts having splines are relatively stronger than one having single key. That's why the spline shafts or the splines are used for heavy power transmission when comparing to the other types of keys. That means single key. When comparing to the single key, having single key, and spline keys will have more power transmission and stronger also. That's why these are used in automobile industry. So let us have a small quiz on this lesson so far, whatever we have discussed so far. And feather keys are generally tight in shaft, loose in hub, loose in shaft, tight in hub, tight in both shaft and hub, loose in both shaft and hub, which is the right answer. Feather keys, we also called it as parallel keys, and these are having four types as we have discussed so far. And this will provide you relative axial moments whenever we require axial moment. In such cases we are going to use feather keys. So that's why these are generally tight in shaft, loose in hub, loose in shaft, tight in hub, tight in both shaft as well as hub, loose in both shaft and hub, which is the right answer in this. So let us see. So it is fitted to the shafts and loose in hub. That's why as per the movement of the shaft or this will move, right? And the shape of Woodruff key is like cylinder, semicircular, square, trapezoid. And Woodruff key we have discussed also it is a self-aligned key, and it is used in tapered shafts. And I told you already, this is mainly used in automobile industry. And what may be the shape of the Woodruff key? So you can see it is not the cylindrical shape, it is not the sphere shape, it is not the trapezoidal shape, but it is not also a tapered square, it is semicircular shape. It is of semicircular circular shape. B is the right answer. Tangent key. Tangent key is provided in the hub only and hollowed to fit the shaft, has flat surface and shaft is planned off to accommodate the key, is fitted such that each withstands torsion in one direction only, and is designed to fit in a sunk keyway whose bed is parallel to the axis of the shaft. Which is the right answer? Tangent keys are generally provided in pair and it will transmit. It is used for heavy duty works. And which is the right answer relating to the tangent key? Whether it is provided in the hub only and hollow to shaft to fit the shaft, has flat surface and shaft is planned off to accommodate the key and is fitted such that each withstands torsion in one direction only and is designed to fit in a sunk keyway whose bed is parallel to the axis of the shaft. Which is the right answer? And none of the above. So C is that means it is used to transmit torque in one direction only. Right? So next is, which key transmits power through frictional resistance only? Through frictional, one type of key is mainly used for when there is a friction between the shaft and key itself. Woodruff key is wrong. Kennedy key, sunk key, saddle key. Which is the right answer? Sunk key has keyway in both the shafts and Woodruff key is different. Kennedy key is also different. And which is the right answer? Flat key. Saddle key. And saddle key of two types, one is hollow saddle key and flat saddle key, and both are used for light loads. So that's why, and this will be used when only frictional resistance, the power is transmitted only due to friction between the key and the shaft. A flat saddle key is provided in the hub only and hollow to fit the shaft, has flat surface, the shaft is made to fit the key, none of the above. Which is the right answer? So in this, A is the right answer, B is also right answer, but it is hollow to fit the shaft. That means it is going to have flat surface. Actually, both are correct. Width of key is usually taken as 1/10 of shaft diameter, 1/8 of shaft diameter, 1/6 of shaft diameter, and 1/4 of shaft diameter. Which is the right answer? Width of the key, but not thickness of the key. The proportions we have discussed so far. So 1/3 of diameter of the shaft. So D is the right answer. Which of the following steel key is usually strong in failure by shearing and crushing? This is not covered so far, so this is not required for this topic. And this is answer is equally strong in both shearing and crushing, that is square shaft. Some of the questions: sketch a jib head key for a shaft of 60 mm diameter showing all its proportions. And what is spline shaft, and give the proportions of spline shafts. And what is the effect of keyway. All these comes under the next topic. So friends, it is so far we have completed this lesson.